Welcome everybody to my newest Let's Play, Dragon Warrior Part 2 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. So we get this little intro here where we have three heroes walking with torches. This gives us a little bit of a clue into the game that we're actually going to have three party members this time. But we won't have to use torches, so that's a good thing. That saves up on some inventory spaces because we don't have a lot of inventory space in this game, just like in the first game. So our hero is the one in the middle, and we're going to pick up our two companions later on in the game. Our hero this time is going to be Prince Hermes. Prince Hermes is another rat from Marty Mouse House Minions. And he was chosen to be the successor to Prince Ernie when Prince Ernie passed away. So, we'll learn about Prince Ernie later on. I was going to name him Prince Hermes here, but that's not going to fit, so we'll just go with Hermes. So, and then like the Greek god Hermes, who was very, very fast, he was a messenger god. Well, let's hop in real fast to the prologue here. This prologue actually didn't appear in the Japanese version, it was added to the American version. Many years ago, a young warrior who was of the line of the great Erdrick came to Alfgard and defeated the dreaded Dragon Lord, restoring peace to the land. For many generations, the descendants of that warrior ruled Alfgard and the surrounding lands, including the kingdom of Monnbrooke across the eastern sea from Alfgard. And that hero was Chicken in Dragon Warrior 1. There, one day, the king and his daughter were talking in a courtyard of the castle when the long years of peace suddenly ended. Uh-oh. So there was the princess there. What in the world is happening? Cried the king. She matched the visual of one of our companions in the beginning. Majesty, said the king's guard, the castle is besieged by the forces of Hargon, the wizard. Hargon is here? Asked the king. Alas, sire, it is so. They must ride forth and do battle, for these castle walls shall not stand long against the evil magic of Hargon, pronounced the king. Uh-oh. Here come some monsters, they start appearing. And they're going to take out the guards pretty easily. The king, not so much. Hargon shall not rule unopposed. The king took out that little monster there. Then the king spoke to the princess. Thy life is in danger, my daughter. Hide thyself now, and whatever happens to me, thou must be strong. But father, cried the princess. Hurry, commanded the king. I must go to warn my cousin, the king of Midenhall. Uh-oh. Father, screamed the princess. They are here. Oh, such a brave beauty, the monster mocked her. The king was enraged. Touch her and thou shalt not survive this day, he challenged the fiend. So, hissed the monster, thou must be the lord of this miserable sand castle. But I think not for long. Why would you build a castle in the sand? I take a shack on a rock, or a castle in the sand. I think it's Casting Crowns, you think that song? I don't know. Then the princess grasped and hollered, no, father, no! And unfortunately, the king has been defeated. But, keep your eye on that guard there in the middle. Who's walking over to the right now. He's going to sneak attack this monster here. Who I guess cast a spell and took out these other two guards. But, I guess he ran out of magic points and allowed, just attacked and allowed the guard to defeat him. I must reach the king of Midenhall and tell him of our defeat. So it's even worse, is on the overworld, the castle is surrounded by swamp. Uh-oh. And now it's on fire. Well, this guard, we're going to find out, he has to travel a pretty good distance to get to Midenhall. Because it'll be a while before we reach that castle. But here is the castle of Midenhall. This is where we're going to start our journey, where Prince Hermes will start. Uh-oh. Guard passed out. Thy wound looks serious. What has happened to thee? Never mind me, I must see the king. Somebody should get him an herb. I have evil tidings that cannot wait. A lot of stuff is going to be similar to Dragon Warrior 1. Some good things though, we don't have to use the stair command anymore, and we won't need torches. Dungeons are automatically lit, so... Hear me, O King. The army of Hargon the sorcerer has sacked Monnbrooke Castle from whence I came. The leave of his magic is great, and I fear he will soon rule all the world, unless a monarch as great as thyself stands against him. Hermes, my heir, thou hast heard the tale of this man. I am old, and this task must fall to younger hands. Thy destiny lies on that difficult road, just as it did for Erdrick the Great. For thou art of the line of Erdrick, and his doom is thine. Come with me now, if thou art ready. So we're the character on the right there, and we kind of look like the sprite from the first game. It is difficult to see thee go, Hermes. By land and sea and air will thy path lead, and in places I cannot see. But this time we actually start, open the treasure chest and prepare for thy journey. Now listen closely, Hermes. Seek out worthy companions along thy road. In Cannock and Monnbrooke there are those who are also of Erdrick's line. They will surely help thee to defeat Hargon's dark plot. So our sprite looks like it has a sword and a shield, but actually all we have equipped is leather armor. It's our only item. But if we search this chest, we don't have to take it anymore, we just have to search. We'll open up the chest, and we'll get its contents. Hermes searched all about seeking a treasure chest. Hermes opened it, and he discovered the copper sword and 50 pieces of gold. We actually have to equip items now, because we can have more than one item and more than one weapon in our inventory. So remember to equip thyself with weapons and armor when thou obtain such items. Yeah, it's a little different than Dragon Warrior 1 there. So that's good because certain weapons actually have properties that can cast spells. If thy path leads west of this castle, thou shalt reach the town of Leftwind. Got some treasure chests down there. And we got some doors. Doors, there's no more door command. You have to use the item, and the item you use has to be a key. There are 3 keys in the game that would keep. There's the jailer key, which opens jail doors. Although it makes me sad, thou must go forth and seek thy destiny. Then there's silver key which opens doors that have a silver lining to them, and then there's the gold key that opens doors that have the gold lining around them. When in need, visit the Houses of Healing. House of Healing are a place where you can get like unpoisoned, revived, and can potentially save your game too. So, because this game is much larger than Dragon Warrior 1, so you don't just have to save at Kings. So this travel gate takes us all around the world. They're basically like warp zones, like in Mario Brothers. We'll use them eventually, but right now the only one we can use just takes us nowhere. So in Cannock there is a young prince, and Monnbrooke has a princess. And we saw Monnbrooke already. Although it makes me sad, thou must go forth. This is Midenhall Castle. We have the inn and the item store there. We already know about the medical herbs from Dragon Warrior 1, but now we have antidote herbs. Some enemies can poison us with their attacks, and when you're poisoned, you lose 1 hit point every time you take a step. So it's important to get rid of your poison. If you don't have any antidote herbs and there's no shop around, you can go to House of Healing, they can remove the poison. The inn charges 4 gold there, but that's only per character. If we had 2 characters, we would actually have, it would cost 8 gold. If we have all 4 party, or 3 characters, it would cost 12 gold, so. So we're just gonna wander around here. We've got to get 12 experience to reach the next level, which is level 2. As you can see, we can fight enemies in groups. You actually want to fight enemies in groups, because when you fight enemies in groups, you get more experience. You get a bonus to experience based on how many enemies there are. So we have the statistics of the enemies there, taken from a Prima strategy guide. But we saw slimes usually only give like 1 experience. So if you fight 2, you get 2 experience. 2 experience. But when we fought 2 in a row there, in the same battle, we actually got some bonus experience. We got 3 experience. So now enemies can appear even though in groups or in like individuals. So you might have like 2 slimes on the battlefield. They may be 1 group, or they can be 2 groups. You can be a slime, 1, and the number next to him determines how many's in the group. That's important because sometimes spells, some spells will hit every enemy on the field. Those spells are usually a little bit weaker to compensate. And then some spells will hit only groups. And then there's some spells that only hit like one individual monster. So you might have 6 slimes, but they're in 3 groups. A group of 1, a group of 2, and then maybe a group of 3. So that'll determine when you cast spells. Unlike the hero in the first game, our hero here, Prince Hermes, can't cast any spells. He'll never learn any spells, but he's basically a physical attacker. He equips the strongest weapons, the strongest armors, and he does the most damage. He's going to get a lot of hit points, a lot of strength. His other 2 companions are kind of a mix. The princess is the opposite of Prince Hermes. She doesn't gain a lot of hit points, but she gains a lot of magic points, and she's basically a wizard. She'll cast really good healing spells, the best offensive spells. He's kind of like your glass cannon. The Prince of Cannock is kind of a hybrid between the two classes. He can use medium-sized weaponry, medium-sized gear, gain some decent amount of magic points, and has some good spells as well, some unique spells. So he's kind of like the red mage compared to like Final Fantasy. If we're comparing to Final Fantasy, or later on in the series, he's kind of like the cleric. So we'll learn about clerics more in Dragon Quest III. But the Prince of Cannock will basically he'll be a template for like a cleric class in the next game and kind of future games. So here we go. Like we'll see that extra experience. So we got some extra experience there because we fought 3 slimes rather than just 1. So rather than getting 2 experience points, we end up getting 4. So basically right now we want to try to get to about level 3. That'll require 32 experience points. Of course, I'm not going to do all that on screen here, but once we get about 32, once we get to level 3, we can start heading west to left wind. Like Dragon Warrior 1, we can save our game with the king. So we just walk back to the castle and talk with the king. These dialogue change a little bit. I would come with thee, Hermes, but my place is here beside the king. Thou art as strong as an ox and twice as good looking. That is very good. Welcome back, Hermes. Of experience points, you need 12 to reach the next level. Does thou wish to save thy deeds? And like I said, we save it normally at the king, but there's also some other places where we can save other than king. So return when thou can, for Hargon does not sleep. In order to preserve, remember to hit the reset button before hitting power, because if you turn the power off first, you may lose the record of your great deeds, and that would be a shame. So it's a nice little humor they have there at the end. But come back on our next episode where Prince Hermes heads to the west. Take care. Thanks for following along. Bye.